Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video I'll be continuing through our retrospective page through and review of the Imperium Weekly Magazine with issue number 8. The Imperium was pretty much for Warhammer 40,000. Issue 8, in terms of original release, was around 2022. Just to put things in perspective, hence why this is a retrospective, because this is pretty much well and truly discontinued. So, front of issue 8, so going back to some very nice Necron themed art, and it looks like it's the Necrons versus the Eldari. I can't remember which craft word that is. It's the blue and the yellow one. I want to say BL-Tarn, but I don't think that's correct. But anyway, not the point. In terms of what was with issue 8, so we do get a included miniature, which will be the Necron Overlord, and there will be some additional gaming supplies. In terms of what to expect in the issue, some information about the Necron Lord, how to name and customize, so obviously there will be some form of dice generation labeling system, and how to paint the Necrons. So, going into the actual issue, it's pretty much Necron themed through and through. So Overlord, Overlord, more Overlord, and the Overlord rises. Nice to have some different artwork here. Well, not artwork, different themes happening as well. So Overlord, pretty much a rundown of what the Overlord is. And there's a nice little sheet to do some interesting little thematic storylines, etc. How to assemble the Necron Overlord with a 40mm included base. Obviously the good thing about these single units is that you can freely cut everything off the runners / sprues and not worry. It's just a case of putting everything correctly together. How to paint the Overlord. So we're using a combination of Rune Lord Brass and Lead Belcher. And then going back and using some of these paints on some of the previous provided minis, such as the Necron Warriors, the Scorpec Destroyers, and what else? Necron Overlord, the Royal Warden, which is from the first issue. So just going back and using some of these paints that have been provided throughout the first few issues. They cannot dick plasma sight, so it's pretty much quite heavily painting all the various Necron units included. So going through some of the black detailing as well now, so pretty much coming through to some very interesting looking models with all the paints, and then go pretty much into the playthrough. What do we have here? So it looks like it's the Overlord versus the Primaris Aggressors, which I believe were from issue 6. I'm going to get to a point where I'm not going to remember because there's like 90 issues and there's no way I can possibly remember what came with what. And going through the playthrough, we do have the datasheet profiles for each. Necron Stone 1, pretty much going straight into close combat. Can't imagine the aggressors are going to do that well in close combat. So that's the Necron phase, going into the Space Marines turn. So we've got some shooting phase included, which is cool. There is some wounding. The aggressors go into close combat, and it's definitely not terrible, but aggressors, obviously, I can't imagine their forte has been close combat. But it looks interesting. Looks like they did put up a bit of a fight, and obviously the playthrough ends before we get to find out who actually wins. Chances are I suspect the Necron Overlord will win. And then just a little information about Imperium, the subscription, etc. And then on the very back, previews of issues 9 and 10, which will give us full squad of Necron Warriors between the two issues. So that's very cool. At some point in time I will figure out the colour scheme. I do need to page through the Necron Codex a bit more. So that was pretty much issue number 8. Very Necron themed, with I think a bulk of the issue pretty much spent just how to paint your Necrons with what paint has been provided and what Necrons we've had included. So that was the magazine component. In terms of everything else, well, as I said, we do have 6 dice, which aren't obviously the same as the ones which came in either issue 1 or 2. I will admit I'm getting a very healthy dice collection, which is good. I think I've got about 18 already, so this will bump me up to about 24. So, very cool. Can probably never go too wrong having too many dice, and I have seen the cost of like getting dice cubes not necessarily cheap. As for the actual hobby side of things, we do have the base and the Necron Overlord. So here's a quick look at the sprue from one side, and then a look at the sprue from the other side. Definitely looks like the Overlord will be a lot simpler to put together than some of the previous Necron ones, just because of how things have been put together. But that is very cool, and I'm assuming, I was going to say that was a Staff of Light, but that looks very much like a scythe. It does look very cool. It's a shame that they don't do the plastic clear rods anymore, but I can understand why they phase them out. Okay. So that's pretty much the end of the page through of Imperium issue number 8. Yeah, as I said a few times already, it's very Overlord themed, just to obviously introduce the included model into the grand scheme of things. Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. This does help support the channel, and I do appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, link in the description. Otherwise, same handles as the channel. With that being said, stay safe, take care, and I will catch you all in a future video, whether it's more Imperium page throughs, some of the 40k content, or something else on the channel. See ya.